Hello, ladies. Hey guys, Kenny Monster here again. Coming to you from another undisclosed location with Star Wars Canyon Episode 3 Revenge of the Cyclic. Sorry, I know, cheesy. This is going to be my second helicopter one. And then after this, we'll go back to planes. I have big plans, and we'll talk about it later. But for now, let's get going. So this time I'm going to show you my takeoff. I don't think anyone can figure out where I'm at just by doing this, and you can see how horrible and unstable I am with this thing hovering. Actually, you know what? So far, that's not bad for me. So, according to SkyVector, this is going to be 2 hours. I know, it's long, it's boring, but it proves the point. It's what I do. I have my flights. See, here's the fun part about this chopper. Trying to get her trimmed. I know I've said that in a previous video, but yeah, it really does suck for trimming. So we're going to be following this coastline here for a little bit till we find a river coming out on our left side here. And yeah, we might be at sea level now, but later on we're going to be at about 6,000 feet, which means we're going to be messing with the fuel mixture on this thing. Gonna do about 70 knots indicated. Hopefully keep it at 70 knots ground speed. You can see it on there. I'm actually at 70 right now. And I guess I really don't have a specific altitude in mind because, like I said, when we get to some higher altitudes coming up here, it's not really gonna matter. And then we'll flatten out again. But, like I said, it's Star Wars Canyon. So we got to go where the canyons are, right? Do a little IFR along the way. I follow roads and rivers. And being X-Plane, of course, later on, there's some rivers that are supposed to be there, but they're not in the default scenery. Cannot wait for X-Plane 12. The time of this recording, it is June 17th, 2022. So come on, Austin, release it. We're waiting. Rumors are July, right? So maybe a couple weeks, a month, hopefully. Whoa, I guess I got her a little fast there. I'm at 75 knots indicated. And I'm probably going to sound weird and maybe even screw up. My head has been killing me. It's been a bad week for migraines. And tonight there's no FNO. I kind of wanted to go to bed because I had a horrible time sleeping, but I thought, no, let's stay up, try to get back into a daytime schedule, sleep at night. So let's just do a fun VFR chopper flight and make Star Wars Canyon Episode 3, because it's been a while since I made Episode 2. I wasn't sure if I was going to keep going with it. I know I said that in the last video. Never got feedback from anyone about whether or not you guys wanted to see more. So I just kind of put it on the back burner. Wasn't a high priority. But whatever. I'm not in a hurry to release them. I think the first two, I just for some reason did them within like a week or two of each other. I was feeling ambitious at the time. But I also kind of want to wait, because future ones I'm going to be going back to planes. And just so happens that the Delta Wing Simulations F-16C model came out with an update yesterday, a long anticipated one. The D model is supposed to be coming shortly, they said. And that's another reason we're waiting off, because I want episode 4, I have this plan to do it with the F-16. Because you guys have seen the Corsair. Haven't made one with the Talon, but you guys have seen a lot of my fucked up landings with the Talon. So I really want to do this one with the F-16, and then we'll see from there. I think I have a map for episode 4 and maybe 5. I don't know what to do with 6 and 7 yet. Just play it by ear. So here's that little river inlet I was talking about. Should look over the stick to see how bad my trim is. Okay, give her some right. And pitch her up. And I don't set the yaw trim. I just use the pedals for that. Because like I said, it doesn't trim that great, and when you start messing with the yaw, you really can fuck this up. And I didn't check, but I'm pretty sure I had some key bindings set to set the trim back to 0, or wherever the default setting was. And I didn't bother to look it up before I started recording. Oopsie. A little hazy. Maybe I should have set custom weather. It's supposed to be nice in this area. I don't want to reveal my location, so if I have to change weather, I'll be revealing my location. You guys will get an idea as we get a little bit further down this river. There's going to be something giving it away. And then you can probably make a decent educated guess. Check this out. I did set these keys, and really the only reason I set these keys up is so that as we go through the valley I can look up excuse me, so I can look up and show you the scenery without having to do the slow joystick. Okay, I turned her up too much. I figure I'll try to keep her at about 500 until we get to, yeah, you probably guessed it, there's some hills off in the distance. When we get there, then, like I said, it won't matter. We'll probably get up in about the 6,000 feet area at the peak. Actually, you know what? No, not there. Maybe 3,000 or 4,000. I was looking at a different part of the map, because my original flight plan, I changed it to what I'm doing now, because the original flight plan, when I did it, again, being X-Plane 11 in the scenery, and I don't have custom scenery, there was a river that I was supposed to be following, and it was not in the sim, so it just kind of ruined the immersion. So I changed it. So I forgot, I will not be going over the mountain like I did in the original plan. Oof, 70 knots indicated, but only 60 ground speed. Okay, maybe bumper back up. There was some wind. I think winds were about 250 at 9 when I took off. Who knows what it'll be later on. Nelly. Get your nose down. In the real world, this would be a pretty area. Look at the satellite imagery. And I didn't feel like doing any custom stuff in wet. It just wouldn't have been worth it for the little bit that I'm doing. I know I did one video. Oh man, what was the first video? Or the first chopper one? Wow. I don't remember. I'll have to go back and watch. I do remember the first one with the Corsair. The second one, pretty sure I'm thinking right now. Wow, everyone's mowing today. It's like freaking hot out. It's like 90 degrees, dry, and everyone's mowing but me. And I haven't mowed since Wednesday of last week. Today's Friday, because it just doesn't do anything. It's like the ryegrass is tall, but like the fescue isn't, and I hate the ryegrass that's in it. But it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna let it sit because it's not doing anything. And want it to get tall, hopefully take over the weeds. I know I still can't get a decent freaking lawn, but that's Minnesota. We get hot in the summer. The other day, humidity was brutal. It was like 70 degrees, but the humidity made it feel like 90. Oh my God, come on, Nelly, get your nose down. Always becoming the big B. What a bitch. Million fake kidney points to whoever can tell me what movie that's from. It still goes up a little bit. I had my hand off the stick trying to see where it was. And now we're at about 75 knots ground speed again. Yeah, 70, 75, I don't care. This is going to be a long flight. Like I said, back hurts. I really need a freaking chair. And I've said this before. Man, these gaming chairs that I see a lot of streamers use, and I've had mine since 2018, these things are garbage. It's true what they say. They are horrible for your back. I mean, if you have to have one, you go for it. But, oh my God, a good chair will not be a gaming chair. But a good one's expensive. And yeah, our healthcare system is better than other places, but you would think insurance, if you have a bad back, would at least help some of the cost in a decent chair to help with long-term back care. But no. God, I wish I could get one. You want a decent one, you're gonna look at like $500 to $1,000. See, originally I had planned on going that way a little bit, but no, we're gonna be going this way. There you start seeing the mountains come into view better. If you haven't guessed what that is up ahead of us, you'll see it when we get closer. We'll be flying over it. And that's what I mean. It might give away a little idea of the location. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, you gotta trim her down a little more. Oh, let's check. Okay, so I got her trimmed, nose down. It's not bad, right? It's not perfect. Now, like I said, the problem is when I get out of cruise and trying to get her trimmed to landing trim. That's a B. See, look at that. I'm not sexist. That's a chick. Yeah. So don't accuse me of being sexist. I mean, she's not the hottest thing in the world, but I mean, hey, it's Minnesota. The nights get cold. At least I think that's a chick. Better not be a dude. I don't know. Is it a chick? Oh god, maybe it is a dude. I don't know. I'm not sure anymore. I think it's a chick. Shadows make it look like a chick. Oh wow. Okay, that's got me questioning a few things now. Yeah, I kind of cheated and cut across the land here. Because like I said, this would be a long flight. And although I know I planned for 2 hours, I'm getting lazier in these as I'm going along, just because I've done it so many times over the last 2 years. It's like, yeah, it's nice and peaceful, but then when I make the video, it's like, come on, let's get moving, because it leads to the whole other problem of making videos, the filler time, which I've talked about before. What do I talk about? And I have no idea. I live a very boring life. I guess one thing I could tell you is our local airport in town, just outside of town, coming up in about a week and a half, is supposed to be having a fly-in breakfast and car show at the airport. So I might head out there. I'm going to try to get up early in the morning because it's from like 7 to noon and it's going to be freaking hot, so I want to get out there as soon as possible. Get out there and hopefully do some plane spotting. It's supposed to be a fly-in classic car thing, so hopefully there's some classic cars and get some recordings of some vintage stuff. I'm a Ford guy, so hopefully we see some nice Mustangs. There's guaranteed to be some old Corvettes and Chevelles. Seems like everyone loves Chevelles, which I don't know why. Or Camaros. From Chevelles and Camaros. For some reason, those are like a lot of the collectors in this area. That's what they have. And my uncle, he died in 2020, but he fully restored this Chevelle. God, what year was it? A 68 or a 69 Chevelle with 396 in it. Surprising he didn't go for the 427 or something, but he used to take that around to car shows, and we won a couple trophies because every show they have a competition, whatever. Hey, at least if we crash here, the water will break our fall, right? And I see what I'm talking about with the mountains. My original plan had me going to the right, of this glacier. Yeah, if you haven't guessed it already, that's a glacier. So you probably look around the map of the Earth and look for glaciers and try to figure out where I'm at. And that's where we're going to be climbing and getting up a couple thousand feet and having to mess with the trim. Or not the trim, the mixture. Which is right down there, the red knob. And from what we said in the previous video, what was it, 1 atmospheric level is around 700 feet. So yeah, we will be leaning the mixture. So I'm going to start climbing right now, because this thing's a slow climber, and you don't want to wait to the last second. She's a slow climber, slow cruiser, but she's even slower trying to climb than when getting my mixture right. So as we're getting up to altitude, it's going to take even more time. So that's why, you know, that. So SkyVector says 1 hour 57 minutes at 70 knots. Yeah, give or take. See over there to the right, see that big mountain there? My original plan was I had wanted to go to just the north side of that, because there was another valley, and I wanted to cross over the peaks and, like, you know, do mountain hops, but it was too high, and there was not a valley between the two valleys. You know what I mean? It was supposed to be a gap where that would get me down to like 4,000 feet, and I'd be able to cross, but it's not there. Not in the sim anyway. So I was like, you know what, I'm not going to waste the time trying to climb to 7,000 or 8,000 feet just to climb that. See, so we started out at sea level. Now we're at 1,000. So there you go. See what I mean? Oops. I was pressing one of the wrong keys. So we'll pull it out a little bit, and as we move on, I'm not sure how well you guys can hear the sound. One thing about this chopper is the default volume level for the engine and all the exterior volumes was really loud. So I went into the chopper, because even just for me playing, like, after a while, it's like, oh my god, this is loud and annoying. But if you guys can hear the sound of the engine, if you could hear the RPMs as I'm messing with the mixture. And then another thing I'm bad at is trying to keep her trimmed as we're climbing. Because I'm going to keep her around 500 feet. That's a good climb altitude for this thing. Climb rate, sorry, not altitude. Derp. So I just gave her collective there, and that shoots the rate up, so now I've had to trim her back. Because I'll tell you, this one, the planes are a lot easier. I mean, I don't mind having my hand on the stick and, you know, constantly making short adjustments. The chopper, holding the stick all the time, even with the trim, it's grueling after an hour or two. After an hour, and I'm going to be doing this for 2 hours. I've actually done 4-hour flights with this thing. So you can see we're starting to get into a canyon. And this is going to take a lot. It takes a while to get over this thing. Yeah. So it's a big glacier, and it's a slow chopper. You know, do the math. It's going to take a few minutes. But imagine flying over this in real life. It would look pretty awesome. Whoa, I don't want to be descending. What the hell, David? Come on. It's supposed to be climbing. So much for having the trim set, eh? Our altitude's 2,000, almost 2,100, so we're at almost 3 atmospheric levels. And I don't even know how far to pull that out. I don't. Maybe that's the thing about mixtures. I mean, you pretty much got to be there in real life to have a feel for it. But you eventually will kill it if you pull it out too far. You'll start to hear that engine sounding rough, and then that's when you know you've gone too far. See what I mean? She's getting deeper. Sorry, that's the thing about this chopper, these side views. It sucks. See, I had to, my quick view, I had to move it down. Like, this would annoy the shit out of me if I were flying this thing in real life. Look over to the right, and you constantly see that freaking door jam. I'm like, dude, you're cutting my view. You're killing me. And yes, that is water up there. This whole valley is not a glacier. There's a lake after this, and then it gets to land. Or, well, a river. There's supposed to be a river someplace in there, but again, it must be one of those small little streams that X-Plane does not pick up. Okay. Seriously, David, you're pissing me off with the trim here. You know, just when I think I had it good, then she, like, just wants to... It's not climbing anymore, it's descending. It's like freaking A. Now watch, I probably said I was pressing the button to get up, I'd probably go up to like 1,000 feet or whatever. Balanced by extremes. See, look at that, I'm at 63 ground speed. It feels like I'm crawling. It's like a snail. That's the thing about this. If that's accurate, the higher you get up with this thing, the slower it feels like you're going. Like a snail. What I'm trying to do is get to about 4,500. And then once we get out of this area, then we'll go back down. I had thought about, well, should I go up to like 7 or 8? Because the ceiling on this thing is supposed to be about 9,000 according to the manual. So I could have gone up there and then you'd see the peaks too, but like it would take forever to get up there. And then you go even slower if whatever winds might be up there. This thing is freaking slow. Remember, this is just a 4-cylinder gas engine that's like, ugh. It's like the size of a small compact car. It's not very big. Sorry, looking over at the chart. You see where the lake is ending up here? And no, I don't care. Ooh, Musfuss looks so much better, Katie. Blah, blah, blah. Fuck Musfuss. Really can't wait for X-Plane 12 to hope that these textures are better. These terrain textures or appearances. Really hope they're better. You know, we keep hearing about those 3D trees, and yeah, they look cool, but I also want the underlying terrain to look better. So I'm looking at the chart to the right of us when we get to the, it's like up here where the mouse is. That's supposed to be, the peak of that is supposed to be around 6,000 feet. But we're going to be shooting the gap more up in here. We won't be going over that. We'll be going over here. Okay, seriously, David, the trim is just pissing me off. Okay, so I just pressed, look how it was like barely, it was like holding at 0. I just pressed one little notch on the trim up. And look at it, she wants to go way up there. See what I mean? Balanced by extremes. That's another thing. The X-Plane 12 is supposed to have a, they say it's supposed to be a good chopper, default chopper. We'll see. And again, this one, this Schweitzer that we're in was ported over from X-Plane 10. I'm ready to move on from it. And I bought it on sale for like 24 bucks. I do want the simpler one, like this bubble canopy. I do like it for the forward visibility. I can see where the VR or track IR would be nice. But again, money is not a high priority for me. Let's see. Star Wars Canyon Episode 3, Revenge of the Cyclic. Yeah, I'm doing a horrible job here. I can talk and chew gum. I can walk and chew gum at the same time. Can't talk and make a video and fly at the same time. Oops. And I said I was going to stop at 4,500. And here I am at 4,700. Derp. Tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night, we got 3 events on the calendar. There's one down in ZHU, and then one in ZOB, and then one in ZTL. And I'm going to try to hit up all 3. Fly, I forgot where I chosen from. Someplace in ZHU. Fly up to Detroit, or not actually Detroit. It's someplace up near Detroit, and then go down to. Wow, I don't even remember. I got flight plans for it. All right, how bad is the trim? Wow, I really got to bring that nose down again. Well, I guess maybe that means I got to lean out pretty good. I wonder what my exterior pitch angle looks like. I've had it times where I was like almost nose down going forward because of the wind. I was like, damn. I'm like, how am I still flying in the air right now? Like, it looked like I should be going straight down, nosedive. So I don't know. I mean, here's the thing about like this mountain climbing and valleys and canyons. There's only so many places you can go before it just all looks the same. All you're doing is you're just traversing a different area. You know, and we see that same thing with Musfas. You know, people have said that to me while making these videos. Well, Kenny, okay, your videos, all you're doing is you're following a river. And it's like, yeah, what is it you streamers do though in Musfas? Especially in your group flights, you guys are all out there following a river, and you get 100 viewers and subs, and then you bitch about that, like because you're not getting 200 or 300 or 400 or 500. But you guys are drawing in viewers, and it's like, then you turn around and you say to me, "Well, Kenny, what you do is boring." Well, okay, don't understand the logic, but whatever. Potato, potato. So see what I mean about where it levels out there. Yeah, let's not run into that. Could you imagine like sledding in here, like being a kid with this, you know, have when it's snow covered, or skiing? But I was thinking like sledding, get a toboggan, and like when we were kids, like just get all 3 or 4 of us on there and just go. That'd be fun. Excuse me. And I'm going to try to do this all in one sitting. So we'll do the same policy as before. If I need to take a break, I will pause the sim, mute the mic, and keep recording, and then go do whatever, and then come back, so it's not, you know, like, because this thing is like, when I was doing the Corsair, at least the Corsair, if I was really quick, I have done it, or if I was really quick, I could get it trimmed to the point where I could walk away for about 5 minutes, come back. I wouldn't have crashed, but my altitude was not going to be anywhere near it was supposed to be. Well, actually, I take that back. It would if I had the altitude mode set, but like my heading and everything, like it's not pretty, right? So like I preferred not to walk away from it if I didn't have to. And I'm gonna let go of the stick, see how bad the trim is. Slowly going up. So like right now, my hand is off. I'm just letting it go, using rudder to keep her stabilized. Oh, see what I mean? Yeah, I forgot to tell you. So that's I said at the very beginning when I set those quick views. If these were taller peaks, then you could see. Okay, so now we're at 4,500. I just gave her one little click, pitch down, See how she does. Because that would be really cool if I could get her altitude trimmed to hold. And yes, there's also the altimeter that's changing. I'm not bothering to look it up. And I just use my rotor, whatever, tail rotor, to keep her going. And now she wants to roll to the right. So that's what that, because I was giving her some left rudder. She wanted to go that way. So this was something too, like, was this a second glacier? I was looking on the map. It might be. There is a label, but I'm not sure. It could just be snow. I'm not sure. This little area right here may or may not be a glacier. Whoa, I'm doing over 75. Oh, surprised my ground speed's not faster. And so here's what I mean. I'm going to descend probably back down to about 2,500. Oh, don't want to go that fast. We just had to get over that little pass back there. See what I mean? Like, I had her trimmed for cruise, and I'm just trying to pitch down a little bit to keep her at 500. And then, whoosh. Yeah, maybe 2,500 is not possible. Oh well. I'm not online, so the whole 500. I mean, there's no buildings, so fuck it. Who cares? I don't have to worry about breaking any rules. I just thought I'd get higher to give you guys a better view. I think like the first one, the Corsair, was like really low, and then even the last one. See what I mean? How that goes up in there like that? I think it's like it might be a second smaller glacier. My guess is it is, but I cannot confirm. And see, according to the chart, there is supposed to be another valley goes off to the left, and there's a river in it. But man, I'm trying to remember because I actually did practice this one once a long time ago. That's one thing I learned about the mountains. They're not always there. Just because there's a valley on the map on Sky Vector does not mean it's there in X-Plane. And I don't remember if I saw a river there or not. Going off to the side. I know there was, the one going ahead was not there. Or if it was like really, really narrow. So are you feeling a little claustrophobic yet? There's some other ones. There's one of my ideas. Oh man, I don't know which plane I'm going to do it in. But yeah, if you're claustrophobic, oof, that's a tight valley. And I mean, if I could somehow find a way to survive it with the Talon, that would be freaking awesome. But I don't think I would. If I could do it with the F-16, because with the F-16 I could use terrain radar and get lower and not worry about crashing. Whereas that's part of the challenge with the Talon, is you got to eyeball it. I don't know. I'm not sure. It'll be interesting. It's narrow. There will be a lot of tight turns, sharp turns, and you got to be Johnny on the spot, looking at the map and looking in front of you to remember which valley is which and which one do you turn at. It'll be interesting if and when I get to that one. Part 4 is it's a valley, but it's more wide open area. But one of the later ones, yeah. Alright, let's level her off at 2,500. I don't know, how much did I, the mixture when I got above 2,000, when was the last time I messed with the mixture? Was it 2,100? I don't remember. Oh, well, she's running fine. I'll just leave her. Trying to get that nose down. She wants to pitch up again. Okay, enough already. Jesus Christ, how much pitch down do I have to give you? Hello? Is there a trim wheel in this bitch or what? Like, dude, I am just holding trim down button and like it's not doing anything. So I must have maxed it out. Jesus. I mean, if I brought it back on the throttle, that would get her down too. But like I said, I was planning 70 knots, but it wasn't etched in stone. I know she takes a lot more fuel once you go above 70 knots. Okay, let's maybe bring her some back on the collective. So I was tired of having to push forward all the time to keep her level. See, now I'm bringing her back up on the trim. Not a bad day. Some clouds, but they're above us. See what I mean when I said, like, was this last video, I said a lot of times it's just more fun to not trim it because you don't have to worry about landing trim. But also I'm spending so much time with looking at that stupid VSI trying to get the trim right that I'm not even really focused on the scenery in front of me or the side. And yeah, it, you know, sort of damned if you do, damned if you don't. See, here's the part that got me. So it looks like where I'm at right now. Remember, so I said we looked like off to the right. It looked like we had passed that glacier off to the right. I think that's what it was. When I look at the chart, I'm not sure anymore. Like going forward, because there's two spots, but because it didn't show a river, I'm not sure which one it is that I'm that it's going to be off to the right. I have an assumption because there's also an area going off to the left that should give it away. And I know you guys can't see the map. Because here's the thing, because I had the nose pitched so far down, I got the stick all the way back and it slowly came back to zero. So now I got to trim her back up because I cut back on the collective. Uh-oh. Okay, just got a weather update. I've got it set for every 15 minutes. Hope this stays VFR the whole time. I keep pressing the wrong key. If I want to see up, I should be pressing that view, not that view. So this up here to the right, that's, like I said, that's the part where I'm not exactly sure what part of the map that is. Could be one of two things, and I'm just not sure. I mean, as long as I keep going straight forward following this, we're not going to get lost. But I still like being able to look at the map and saying, yep, that's exactly where I am in this game, whatever. That's exactly where I am. I know where I am. I am in control. Well, most of the time I'm not. When it comes to flight sim, I'm more like the gimp. I'm just along for the ride. Right? That's the fun part of VFR. You're never really lost, right? Because it's visual. You just say you're taking the scenic route, so you're never lost. You just may not know where you're at, but you're certainly not lost. Yeah, I might have the trim somewhat decent. Get her trim back there. It's not bad. The roll one is another one that's... because that can change so much with the small movements of the rudder. See, I was giving it left rudder, see how she then wanted to roll, so you have her trimmed. That's what I mean, is like, is it really worth it to trim it? If you're going to be hand flying it, because this thing doesn't have autopilot, is it really worth trimming? I mean, yeah, right now my hand's not on the stick, I'm just using the rudder pedals, and yeah, that's nice, but I don't know if it's worth it or not. So, if this is a spot that I'm thinking of, there should be a river, but I don't see a river. I can't zoom in. Yeah, then the hotkey I can. I've got some buttons on my joystick. One, zoom in and zoom out. And see, I don't think that's the river. That's supposed to be snow. See what I mean? Like, it kind of messes. It really messes with your head. Not kind of, but it really does mess with your head. And don't disappoint us, Austin. I mean, it's not a necessity. It's not do or die for me. But yes, some better looking scenery, or at least better mesh to help you distinguish a difference between certain features. Holy shit, we're getting into some bad weather here. Was not expecting this. But then again, how often do I actually check the weather? I'm the guy who just loads up and goes. It's like it doesn't matter. 50 knot wind, fuck it. I'm going no matter what. I already have plans. You're not gonna stop me from flying. Okay, that gully up to the left of that might be a spot that I'm thinking of. Maybe. Potentially. Hopefully. Who knows? Only time will tell. See, now it almost looks like that should be maybe a river. Well, way off, yeah, there's a very dinky ass stream. So I don't know, I'm wondering, is that what that is supposed to be? Right? And there. Yeah. Really gotta zoom in. Okay, so that one may be there. But here's the thing. We may be at another spot that I think of, because this hill right here in front of us, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure. I don't remember the last time I did this. You know what? We're going to follow this river, I think, and see where she goes. And pull the stick way freaking all the way back just to try to get it back to 2,500. I think last time I did this, I went to the left. And then I was like, this doesn't look right. Because there's supposed to be a river on both sides. One side has a larger river than the other. Slightly larger. I mean, it looks like it'd be dramatically bigger on the map, but here, it's not. So like these are one of those things like I'm wondering about with like now they have with X-Plane 12 is supposed to have that flowing water, 3D water, and the waves. What's it going to be like on these small ass streams like this? Is it still just going to be a painting, a two-dimensional painting like that? Or is it going to be an actual like 3D looking river, flowing waves with depth? Okay, stop pissing me off, David, with this whole trim thing. I'm serious. It's like, damn it. Sorry, I do have the Kinney rage. This is probably another reason why I shouldn't be making videos, especially like on things where I can get mad. Boy, if you heard me on my Call of Duty days, holy Lord, yeah, the words slipped. Even when I played football and baseball. But this is supposed to be peaceful, calming, relaxing. ASMR. We were having fun with that Torb stream the other day. We did our own little version of ASMR with Torbs. We clipped it, it was good. Well, what do you think? Is it going to rain? Oh wow, it's 6:30 already. Almost 6:40. Dang. Time flies. Dang, I almost feel like I'm getting like a Venturi effect here with some wind. Getting a little bumpy. Like, see how she's wobbling around a little bit? She wasn't doing that earlier. Whoa, whoa, what the hell? I got the stick all the way. I let go of the sticks, let it center out, and she started pitching all the way down. I got the stick all the way back. Damn. What was that? Yeah, exclamation point panic. Hope you didn't eat. Probably would have lost your lunch back there. Jesus Christ, David. I'm pitching up like crazy now to get her to level off. So that's another reason not to walk away with. Even if you know, without autopilot, you think you got the trim set, just let her go, walk away for 5 minutes. That would not have ended well. It would not. We would have come back and we'd have been like, okay. Oh man, see, like, I'm trying to look at the chart, see if there's a weather station here. There isn't, so I can get a METAR, and I don't want to pull up the instrument panel to look at the METAR and give away the location. Sorry, I am just trying to stay focused on the flying here. As you can see, I am getting tossed around. I'm going to try to get back to 2,500. Don't have to be. I mean, you know what? I can stay at 2,000 too. I mean, we're below 3,000. But I don't know. I just try to stay in that habit of the 500-foot increments. All right, sorry guys. I'm going to pause it here because apparently getting nervous makes me go. So I'm going to mute the mic and then take a 5-10 minute break. I'm going for a smoke, and then I will be back. Okay, back. Sorry about that. That sun's really beating down. It's starting to set. It's like just 5 minutes. Turn this pale white skin into a, like I was at the beach for a day with the farmer's tan. Okay, Nelly, yeah. There really is a wind effect in here. So like where I had the trim set, I thought I was good, but man, I'm constantly having to do something with the stick wherever I get it set. Like it's, then it changes. Maybe I would have been better off staying higher up. Whoa, 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 whoa. See? I did not want it to start descending like that. Sorry, I had to pull the map back up. Okie dokie, like this is crazy. Like any little movement I make is just huge. See what I mean? I'm trying to keep her to the left and she keeps wanting to go to the right. There's the weather station coming up here. 100 at 4. That's a little further downstream. So much for a nice Friday afternoon stroll in the park. Sorry, I'm trying to look at my speed here now. See, look at that. I just jumped like almost 300 feet. Yeah, I can't really say I'm in complete control of this thing right now. She's a pretty small chopper. It is not going to take much to whip this thing around. That's something I'll tell you. While taxiing, I did this the other day. I flew to Oakland late at night. B-Dubs is controlling, and he had a ground controller on. So I was like, hey, let's land at the maintenance ramp, and then I'll hover taxi over to the GA ramp, give ground something to do. And I almost crashed hover taxiing because where there was a turn in the taxiway, the wind grabbed the rotor and whipped me around. It was crazy. That happens to me a lot, so you really got to anticipate which direction that wind's coming from. See, I'm afraid to let go of the stick to see what it would do. Once I let it go, she goes up. I don't know if I can get her trimmed all the way down to keep her level. I've been pressing down on her for a while. Well, now she wants to go. I keep doing like slight increments. Don't want to hold on to it. And then this last time I just held on to her. Now she went too far. So see what I mean? Like I've mentioned this with like the Talon in particular, but even the Corsair. So all three of these were ported over from X-Plane 10. And it seems like they teeter, and I mentioned that before. It's like there's a pivot point where like when you try to trim it, like it's just not gonna stay. You're always gonna have some sort of adjustment all the time. It's never gonna stay level. And this is no exception. Whereas when I fly the F-16, that was made for X-Plane 11, and it's gonna be upgraded to X-Plane 12, and the devs are staying with it, and they're making more planes, which is going to be awesome. Can't wait for this one in particular. That one, yes, it has fly-by-wire, but just overall, it doesn't pivot, teeter like this does, and the other two, like the Corsair and the Talon do. So my suspicion is that's a feature of porting planes over from a previous version. They're not able to get the exact same modeling or handling characteristics right. Because imagine this being the real world. If it pivoted like this, like, man, you would have crashed at some point. Like, nobody would be left to fly it. And I don't know if I mentioned this in a previous video. I found a video of a guy flying the Schweitzer S300. It was like student and instructor kind of thing, and I asked him, what's it like? Is it hard to fly in real life? Because I was like, in the sim in X-Plane 11, I'm like, it is extremely hard, and he's like, no, and it's actually really easy to fly. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that makes me feel either incompetent or sigh of relief that confirms that maybe this thing was great in X-Plane 10, but the porting over to 11 just fucked up the whole thing. So yeah, I do have to pay attention, so hopefully I'm in the right spot, and this river will eventually bend to the left, and I'm hoping that's the spot, and then it will take us to a lake. Okay, come on. I've got my hands full here. Well, if anyone's still watching right now, probably the only thing keeping you watching right now is wondering, will he crash? Wouldn't be the first time. I hope I don't. I'm not beyond humility, but it's the idea. It's like, okay, and went all this way only to fuck it up and crash. Maybe I should have taken that left turn back there. Maybe I should have taken a left turn at Albuquerque instead of taking the right side, because now I'm not sure which valley that is going to the left. Just follow this river. Hopefully it stays there and doesn't disappear. Because this should take us over to the other side and get us to a lake. And that might be the lake right there, actually. What am I worried about? Yep, that's the lake. And we'll abide by the rules and drive on the right side of the road. When we get to the end of the lake, we'll have to cross over to the left side because there'll be a river at the end. We'll follow that river for a short ways to get to the airport. And according to the chart, there are some like private strips, but they're not in the sim. And I was not going to go in. I thought about it. I was like, should I go in and make them? No, I wasn't going to, because these bush strips are hard to do when you have the mesh and then trying to get a decent looking terrain and the trees and everything to look somewhat decent. It's just so much freaking work. You know, where do you want to square off an area? Such a bitch. See, look at that speed. It's just... I'm afraid to give her more because then it makes it even harder to fly. She just gave her some collective, and now you see how much she just pitched up without even trying. And then didn't compensate in time. See, I see what I mean. This would be a pretty area in real life. Look at that, you're just bouncing me around. This is crazy. I mean, according to Sky Vector, the wind in this area is not that bad. It's that mountain effect, the Venturi effect. And I'm going to be lazy and not follow the coastline. I'm going to just cut across this little peninsula here. Save some time. But yeah, you can see we are still in a canyon. Imagine being on this thing with this bouncy. Like, I hope you would not have eaten lunch before you took off. Because believe me, I am doing everything I can to hold this thing level. I have tried to land it like this. Anything like double-digit winds, like even 10-knot winds with this thing, sucks. And I've done it. It's not pretty. Sometimes I died. Sometimes I didn't. I, hurt my back, but it's, yeah. The most fun you're gonna have is with calm winds, and that's why a lot of times when I do make these videos, like the last one, for sure I hit calm winds to make it a more enjoyable experience. It's not that I can't fly in the winds. It's just that it's not fun, right? If I'm hopping on VATSIM and I want to do some nice VFR, following the roads, do the heli routes, it's more about having fun than about having that immersion factor with the weather and all the elements. But here I decided to go for realism, immersion. And 85 knots ground speed now, 70 indicated. And this is actually a pretty long lake. And no, the name of the lake is not Long Lake. There's tons of lakes called Long Lake in the U.S. This is not Long Lake. Even if it were, good luck trying to figure out which one. We got like 10 Long Lakes in Minnesota alone. Yes, like, I don't know, I'm pretty much giving up on trim. I mean, I don't know. I want to find a decent center point, so I'm not having to overdo it, but I'm just, see what I mean? Like, it's not enjoyable right now having to constantly move the stick here and have to deal with overreactive, which I don't know. I mean, it might be like this in real life. I don't know. What I'm just saying is, even if in real life this would not be enjoyable, like, I'd rather go out on a calm day. If this were a plane, whatever, deal with it. But with a chopper, it's just not fun. Okay, you see up to the left there? I don't know if that's that river or just a scenery tear. There's supposed to be a river joining from the left. And according to the chart, there would be a small airport. I don't know if it's actually there. Once we get closer, I can zoom in. I don't think it was. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. I don't know. Because it's been a while since I've done it. We were in June. When's the last time when did I make those other two? Was it March or April? That was when I first started having that shoulder pain, and now I still got it. It's like, ugh. And like I said, I attribute it to the chair because it was initially the left shoulder, and it's better. And I still had, like, my left pointer finger is still numb. But like now the right shoulder blade has been hurting for quite some time, and it really all depends on how I sit or sleep, which leads me to believe it's the freaking chair, because like the shoulder blade rips into it because it's got those angled things, and people had written that in reviews before I even bought the thing. It's like, so if you're wide shouldered, these gaming chairs suck for you because they're cupped and your shoulder blades are digging into that cup. And as time has gone on and the padding is flattened, I'm sinking farther in, and those things were angled, and it's like, oh. So that's why I really want a new chair. That's why you should not buy a gaming chair. Buy a nice office chair. Save your back. Spend the money if you got it. Just don't get a gaming chair. Get some sort of a flat back chair, because this cup thing will kill you. Unless you're like really, really skinny and narrow shouldered, then you'll be fine. But if you got wide shoulders, broad shoulders, it's eventually gonna freaking hurt. That's my scathing review. couple of possibilities where I might be. I'm looking for where some of these edges of the river kind of stick out. Because sometimes Sky Vector can get really good on depicting the topography. Whew. Sorry. I tossed and turned last night. I went to bed around 10:30, which is early for me, a decent hour. But I fell asleep for a little bit, just tossing and turning. Ended up waking up at like 10:30. Now I just want to fall asleep. But you guys can't fall asleep. You got to keep watching if you're here. Got to get them precious views, Precious views. It's all about the money. The views, the subs, the money. All goes hand in hand. That's what it's all about. Hope we get the sarcasm. I'm laying it on pretty thick. Okay, if that's a river, that's going to be a good indication of where we might be. So yeah, if this is depicting it right, there should be an airport on that little peninsula just in front of us. Actually, do I see lights over there? What is that? Okay, I'm bouncing around, but according to the chart, there should be like some sort of a private turf strip over here. Ugh, see what I mean? Like, look, she bounces all over. Sorry. Ugh. The more I talk, the dry the throat gets, and the worse my voice sounds, because it's never great to begin with. So bear with me. I'm still here. I'm still talking. Still alive. Ain't dead yet. Good chance we might be when we try to land. I make no promises. No guarantees. I kind of want to cross over there and see if that's that airport. But then we'd be on the wrong side of the road, wouldn't we? I mean, either wait to the end and circle around the tip of the river, of the lake to get to the river, or just cut across right now. You know what? Fuck it. I want to go over there. I want to see it. If that really is an airport, I want to see it. We were bouncing around so much when I zoomed in, I couldn't tell. Definitely something over there. There should be a river if it's that joins it. That's that river I was talking about. That if I didn't know if it was a scenery tear or a river. Hey, I'm more than 500 feet above a residential area. So no, I'm not breaking any rules. We're good. At least I think we're over 500. I haven't adjusted the altimeter since we left. Actually, I'd probably look it up right now. I am using world. I'll just go over to Sky Vector. 29er, 79er. Okay, let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And I think elevation is 288. So I'm looking at that right. Yeah, I think it's 288 feet. So yeah, we're not breaking any rules. Looks like that is supposed to be a runway. And I did not put one in here that I remember, so this looks like it would be... Because remember what we talked about before, if there's stuff that was on the gateway, when they came out with 11.55, it was put in as the default. And I don't think I have any custom scenery in this area. I've pretty much deleted it. Anything that I wasn't using. Some that had certain libraries that I wasn't using anymore too. It's like... I don't like that style of runway because if you zoom in, you'll see the grass edging of it. And by itself, it looks cool and wed, but then you see like the edging, and it's like, ugh. It sticks out like a sore thumb to me, and I can't blend it in, and it just drives me crazy. They look nice. The texture, believe me, looks really nice for like a gravel road, and then like they have the grass in between, like a, where it's just the tire tracks. But like it's one of those pet peeves where it's like, what, I'd rather just deal with looking at the default than have the little annoying things bugging me. You asleep yet? Hope not. Guarantee I'm awake. All this bouncing around is keeping me awake. I mean, You nauseous? Motion sickness? Take some Dramamine. I thought I saw a light off in the distance, unless it was another scenery thing. Couldn't have been, because there's nothing upcoming. I just thought of something. That could have been one of two of the rivers on this side. There's actually two of them. I think that was the second one, though. Looking at how this is narrowing up, and then Okay, come on, let's get back to 2000 here, David. Come on. Quit fucking around. And this is a cruise. Try landing. Stay tuned. If anything, watch the landing. It's going to be interesting. At least we're doing a decent speed. Like 76 knots, someplace in there. Staying around 75. That's usually what I file for, is 75 knots ground speed. 70 indicated, hopefully 75 ground. So I'm not holding on to the stick right now. Maybe I shouldn't hold on to the stick. Like, remember, this is my old, well, I don't know, old, but this is the Mark II, the one that was really super sensitive. Whereas I have the my new Gladiator NXT EVO. That one's really stiff. I don't know how I'd ever fly chopper with that one. I haven't tried, but it's too stiff for me to even want to try chopper flying. Like this one, you exhale, take a breath in, and it'll move the stick. But I used to fly with it, man. I was doing those long ass flights with the Talon, the Corsair, and the Tucano, and this. And I'm wondering how the hell did I do it? It's so sensitive. I mean, I got used to it, and now I'm struggling to get used to my new stick that's stiff, and I've had it for a couple months now. According to Sky Vector, I'm at 2,000. The shoreline should be about 1,000 feet. And I think I probably did say earlier I probably said, fuck it, let's go down and see if it's better, but I didn't. Don't worry, we're getting close. We're over the halfway point. Because once we get to the end of this lake, then we're just going to follow the river to a little bit to the airport. And then I'll go make supper. Nothing is on sale. Like, I mean, there actually was something. There was some like generic brats, like the good brats. You know those Johnsonville brats that you can get? They're like sausages. Those are good. Well, this is like the store version. Like they have their own meat locker thing, and so they make these brats, and they were on sale. So I got those and chopped up an onion, got some muscle. I'll have one of those. Makes a decent meal. Wrap it in tin foil, bake it for about 25-ish minutes. I think this time I'll do 30. It seemed a little undercooked last time, but and that'll be my supper. Filler time. I know you didn't need to know that, but it's filler time. Filler talk. It's better than nothing. A lake or is it a scenery thing? Because there actually is a lake on this side, on the other side of the mountain. Again, that's just one of those little things of mine. It's like, you know, it feels good to be able to look at the map and then look in the sim and it'd be like, yep, that's exactly where we are. We know exactly where we're going. We're not lost. We're not there yet. We may not know exactly where we are, but you know what? We're not lost. We just don't know where we're going. Yeah, and this little poke out here might give a clue as to where we are. Yep, because then it narrows up, and you see off in the distance. See how the land joins? Yep, so that's where we are, where I'm looking. So that is where we are. We are getting close. So once we reach the end of the water, oh, that's so annoying. You go from 2,000 feet to 2,300. Once we get to the end of the water, straight line should be 14 miles, 14 miles to the airport. Descending with the helicopter, that is one thing I am not good at. Is that you want to pick your line, you want to descend plenty early, and I should check the winds here. What's the METARs say? METARs. Oh, okay. All right. This explains it. So this weather station where we're landing, 100 at 12, gusting 21. Okay, that explains it. The one further upstream, 100 at 6. I have been flying like this since before we got to the lake, weren't we? Or once I got to the lake, this is what it's been like. I think that this weather station might be a little bit off. It was at 1800 Zulu. If I'm reading that right, was when that time was posted. I don't know, man. That's fucked up. I mean, we're not that far away. So it's basically 28 miles from that one weather station that says 100 at 6 to the one that says 100 at 12, gusting 21. Pretty sure we've been getting the 12 gusting 21 for the last hour or so. Yeah. Okay. You try that in one of these choppers. And here's the thing. When outside, it never looks as bad as it does when you're inside. I'm taking a chance here. But look, I mean, yeah, on the outside we're moving. But on the inside, look at that. It's like we're really moving. So how sick are you right now? How many times have you ran to the bathroom to throw up? Hopefully you made it. Don't want to make a mess on the floor. Then you got to clean it up. Or con someone else into cleaning it up. That would not be fun. Or hope you don't have a migraine yet watching. Because I'll tell you, this is a huge freaking migraine trigger. I will be hurting for this. But I already had a migraine. I'm just making it worse because I was bored. And no FNO. So I was like, I've been putting this off. I was talking to someone else and I was like, so we might do something tomorrow night, but for an event. But tonight, it's like, fuck it. Let's just do this. So whatever. I popped some Tylenol a couple hours ago. I think I'll be able to take some more in like 2 hours or so. What time is it? I think a half an hour I'll be able to take some more. Yeah, there's a couple people live on Twitch right now, but I'm not watching. And I've got Discord muted, so you don't hear all the alerts. And actually, what did the overcast say? I was just checking the wind. I didn't look to see what the overcast was. 10 square miles, overcast at 0 tree 1. Scattered VCSH, whatever that means. Oh god, I forgot what all those letters means. You know, I'm over here on this guy. I should pull up the weather radar. Oh yeah, we were flying through a little system there. Oops. See, like I said, I don't check the weather. I just go. Yeah, that explains it. We started out good, and then we ran into this. Oops. Oh well. It's still exciting, right? You got more than you bargained for. You thought this was going to be like an easy stroll in the park. No. Instead, you got multiple trips to the bathroom to throw up. I mean, what else could you possibly want to do on a Friday night? So I remember too. So 14 miles, I said, from the time we get to the end of the lake here to the airport, as if we go in a straight line. But we're only doing 70 knots an hour. So think about that. It's still gonna take about 15 minutes. Whereas if I was flying the Talon at like 500 knots, it's like, yeah, that comes pretty quick. Yep, so I think that is another river right there. Now that little river is supposed to lead to a lake someplace. Is that it over there? Off in the distance? Can't tell. Someplace over there. That's not the one we're following, but the one we're following is that one up there. Point is, it's a slow thing. I do 2-hour flights all the time with the Talon. I usually try to set my flights up, even with the Corsair or whatever. I try to set it up for 2 hours. But 2 hours with this thing is brutal. And this is supposed to be an hour and 57 minutes. I didn't actually check the clock to see what time it was when I started. But like I said, 2 hours in this thing feels like 10 compared to the other ones. And right now it feels like we're crawling, right? We're moving so slow, then we get closer to the ground and it feels like you're moving like a million miles an hour when you try to land. I mean, really, you're only doing 20 knots. Oh, we found it. I mean, I told you, if we found the lake, we really couldn't get lost because there was going to be a river. And this river actually did show up. I'm really bummed that the other route that I had didn't, because that would have been a nice area to go through. And then where we would have ended up landing, it would have been on a mountaintop. There was a bunch of mountains. They were like out in the middle of nowhere. I don't even, they weren't mountains. I don't know what they're called, but that would have been interesting. But that one would have been like probably closer to 4 hours, the distance to get to it. But I was like, you know what, I'm not going to do it because the scenery is just not right. I mean, the whole point of doing that route the way I wanted to is because it showed a river. And it didn't. It was just a bunch of trees. So it's like, why? Yes, there's a bunch of trees here, but there was rivers. There was landmarks that we natural landmarks that we could look for. And I'm going to be lazy. I'm not going to follow the curvature of the river. I'm going straight line, baby. And this is supposed to have a water runway, and I know this is a personal preference. All the water runways in X-Plane, they don't have buoys by default. I don't know if they do in real life or not. Like, I never bothered to look them up, and I think I actually did look up Duluth Sky Harbor once, and on Google Earth, I didn't really see any buoys. So there's like 2 water runways, but it's like when I envision a water runway, I'm thinking of buoys to like give it the image, the layout of a runway. Otherwise, it just feels like I'm landing in the middle of a lake or river anywhere. I mean, if you got a float plane, I could turn this into a float chopper if I wanted to and land in water. But it's like, if it's supposed to be a water runway, I want the buoys. And so I actually made some custom scenery of an airport that didn't exist. I made it out in the middle of nowhere. But I put buoys on it. And I thought it looked cool. It's like, let me see if I can show you. Okay, so smart livery. Yeah, so we're in default. The Calypso. Oops, maybe I shouldn't have done that. No, see, look at that. But now I'm getting the extra drag from the buoys. So yeah, I could. But this thing is like really, really hard. Like, I'm not sure which would be harder to control in water, this or a plane, because I've spawned in and it's like there's no way to hold it. Like, you're just bobbing up and down in the water. Alright, let's go back to default. I was worried there that maybe I was going to crash it, but no. Because to be honest, I don't know if I've ever actually changed it in midair. I just knew it was always a possibility. And, okay, I should keep my eyes on the road. Oh, looky what we have here. A runway, an airport. So yeah, so you see where this finger is? You click this, it brings up all this stuff. So like stability, in order to fly this thing, I've got to have it all there. So volume, you can see I've had to lower that down to 25. Imagine it being it really does get loud. Haven't messed with the weights. The correlator, only use that if what'd they say? Oh, what was it? Oh god, I can't even. It's like these presets that only comes into play if you're oh man, I can't even think of the word. So then you got these quick views that I don't use. I don't like them. I forgot where the spot was. I don't know if it was here or in the load menu to give you the 2 tanks. Oh yeah, auxiliary fuel tank, so you can have 2 tanks. Yeah, supposedly you can have the hook. I have never actually tried that. The governor kit, yeah, something. Maybe I should have that turned off. Something about that's where that whatever came in. So, you know what? I'm gonna have to try that, turning the governor off. Maybe that's why I'm having such a hard time. To be honest, like I said, I've never actually looked into this. Yeah, you can put rotor caps on, like, and all that stuff. I don't do it though. If you want, go ahead and knock yourself out. That's not a big deal to me. But yeah, I'll show you like the liveries. I won't pick them, but like So you got camo, graphite, orange. I'm like, okay, some of these look pretty similar. But the one that I used, this one does not have the boom on it, but there is one, I think the graphite is the one that has the spray boom. Actually, let me put that on. And then, because that's what you would use. You don't need it for the air spray mod, but what it does is it gives you a visual. So like I'm getting pulled off. See what I mean? I'm getting the wind effect from it. It's catching the wind. So if you want to do the air spray mod, and it actually, see, I just clicked the trigger. You actually see the stuff. See it stop. Sorry, I'll try to, hopefully I don't crash doing this. And if you want to use the air spray mod, that's where that comes into play. But the air spray mod, like I said, it's not easy. And I tried it a little bit, but then just stopped. But if that's something you guys are interested in, I think the airspray mod's like $13.99. Works on any aircraft. You don't need the boom. It's just that if you want like the visual effect of an actual boom, this has it. Like I used it on the Corsair, and that doesn't have a boom. It works on any plane. I never tried it on the Talon. I mean, I don't know. Try getting that low to the ground. You got to be like 20 feet to the ground or something, 10 to 20 feet, in order for it to work. But if that's something you guys are into, knock yourselves out. Okay, I lost visual on the airport. Is that it over there? Okay, see, I was fucking around, and now I've lost visual on the airport. Way to go. Here's the river. And there is the airport. See? Don't be fucking around. And wow, I'm gaining some altitude. Yeah, I really need to be. I should have been descending. So winds are 100. See, here's where you gotta be careful. Like I cut back a lot on the collective, but then I reached a point where I couldn't pull back anymore because of the trim. I don't know if I'm going to be able to descend enough here to do this. Yeah, I should be able to. Whoa. Okay, I did not mean to be descending at that rate. Relax, David. Let's calm down. Airport elevation 192, I think. So I remember early on I talked about having to, trim down so freaking much. Well, now that we're leveling out, you got to trim back up. And then as you level off, and I'm completely descending the wrong way. You're supposed to like step down, pitch down, then level it back up. But I was fucking around with the livery thing showing you that. So winds are 100. I'm going to want to approach it from the south side of the runway. It sucks trying to do a crosswind landing. Tailwind landings suck. You really, really do want to do it with the headwind. See how much altitude I'm losing just trying to get the trim set. I gotta let go of the stick to see where it is. And then once you start leveling off too, once you slow up, you actually have to then start trimming back down. Like it's just this constant struggle, and like we don't know any real helicopter pilots to like confirm whether this is the way it's supposed to be or not. I don't know. Like I said, I would pray to God it would not be this hard in real life, because look how many people would die just learning how to fly this thing. They would never get a chance to master it. They'd be dead as a student. They'd die on their first solo if they don't have an instructor there to bail them out. Okay, come on, Nelly. Let's get down here. This elevation. Crap! I don't want to crash. But I want to just confirm. What did I say? About 192 is the altitude. Okay, my altimeter is not going to be set right. Oh crap! I should be lower. Oh, this is not a good situation right now. I'm too high and too fast. And you never want to try to come down. So to do this properly, you should circle back around. Because you never, ever want to try to land a chopper straight down. I'm going to try to bring her, see if I can't bring her back. You always want to be moving forward, but it's with a chopper. But it's not that you can't back up. It's just not the best way to do it. But let's see if we can, right? Because we're Team MBK, right? We don't back down from a challenge. But you also got to make sure you don't gain a lot of altitude doing that. Okie dokie. See what I mean? I was starting to go up there, so now I'm back at 200. I'll watch it so I don't want to gain a lot of speed. So I have a hard time gauging this. I'm closer to the ground right now than what I think, because it's not like the floor is there. You got the legs under there. God damn it! See what I mean? Like, look at that. It just grabs it. See what about the pitch? See, now I got to pitch her back down. She will very easily back up on you. And then I'm gaining altitude. It makes no sense, right? I went from almost just touching the ground to flying back to gaining altitude. And yes, the wind gusts are there. But look at this. I went from like, I don't know how it looks for you guys, but I can tell for me, having this forward visibility and seeing the cracks in the pavement, just how much further back it throws you. It's probably not a lot, but it's enough to, it's like, dude, I barely did anything. And then you don't know what your angle of attack is, because you don't have an artificial horizon any place on the dash. And if there were a marking here, like I suck. If there were a helipad marking, I would suck at getting it right on it. Just happy with whatever landing I can get. Oh, now she's starting to drop, damn it. And then you get the freaking ground effect. Hey, 173. Look at that. I always guess 173 on you guys. I landed 173. Yeah, that's how you do it right there, son. That's how you do it. Oh, that's my B-dubs impression. So you saw how much we were floating, or just hovering around, how bad I am at hovering, and hopefully that ground effect is better in 12. Please, David, fix that. So you saw how much I was wobbling inside. When you get to the external view, it doesn't look so bad, does it? It's very exaggerated when you're in the cab, and I wonder what that would be like in real life. So yeah, I remember that's where I dipped down when I was trying to get the trim. But for the most part, outside you don't look that bad. It's when you get inside that it looks bad. And then when I landed, apparently I was further above the ground than I thought. So when I was cutting the collective, I ended up dropping it, and I should not have landed at 173. But you see there, I was going to the side. That's frustrating. But hey, one bounce, minus 173. Beat that, all right? I always bet that number. Anyone who can nail it 173 on a number that I always bet, like, that's a prize right there. That's a feel-good moment. I got my own number. Anyway, you guys are still here. Thanks for watching. Go out, fly some helicopters. You can't do any worse than me. Take it easy, guys.